moving on. Soups and Lolo.
Oh man,
Yeah.
dude, I love this show.
Season 1, Episode 2, Heritage, directed by Toland Krieger, written by Todd Helbing, who wrote the teleplay and helped with the story of the pilot. Let me just go through do you want me to go through the rundown real quick just to give everybody the synopsis?
Gee, that's a long summary.
It's really not. It just looks long because it's on a small screen.
That's what she said.
Anyway, dude, I'm so happy you hit that one out of the park. So it says, Luthor searches Earth for Kryptonite. Clark takes Jordan to the Fortress of Solitude to learn about Krypton's history and meet the AI of Superman's father, Jor-El, who he's named after. Jonathan faces resistance from the football team. Lolo attends a city council meeting where she speaks out against Morgan Edge's plans for Smallville and faces backlash. Edge threatens to rescind his offer, which would result in hundreds of jobs lost. Superman and Luthor battle until Luthor reveals that his ship, outfitted with a bomb, will destroy the city. Superman pushes the ship out of Earth's orbit before it explodes. Tests at the fortress reveal that Jordan's powers are not as strong as Clark's, which angers Jordan. Surprise, surprise. The Kents attend a barbecue at Lana's house, where Lois argues with Kyle over Smallville's job issue, and Lana tries to get in Clark's pants by getting him drunk. Luthor attacks Sam Lane's base and warns him that Superman... See, here's the thing in this article. He warns him that Kal-El will destroy this world as he did Luthor's. Superman intervenes and discovers this Luthor was an android. Lolo quits her job at the Daily Planet over an article about Edge and joins the Smallville Gazette. So now she's Chloe Sullivan. While Clark allows Jordan to attend school at his base, Luthor plans to build another ship and continue searching for Kryptonite. A flashback to Luthor's Earth reveals the battle against the evil Superman. There's an error in this article. He was not building another ship. He was building another suit.
Yes.
So I did not realize that until I just read it. Anyway.
And I will say this, too. It says a flashback to Luthor's Earth reveals a battle against an evil Superman. Well, depends on what was Luthor fighting for and who was he fighting against.
Well, they were fighting to hell and back. That's what they were fighting. They were fighting to hell and back.
And I will get back more into that because I kind of wanted to see more about what was going on in that other world. But I think we also got for a second episode. I think it was just enough to tease us.
I don't know. We got to see Kal-El, because I'm not going to call that character Superman. I'm going to call that character Kal-El, go full Homelander and burn people in half with his heat vision, which they showed a surprising amount of gore.
Yeah.
I don't know if they showed the same amount on the CW live stream or airing versus what they call the expanded episode on the app.
I'll have to see because it was just like a quick shot. So I'll have to check out the CW app to see if there were some changes in there.
So I definitely want to give a shout out to Wole Parks though for his Alex Luthor. We know nothing about him, and he's already one of the more interesting characters that the CW has put in the villain position.
Yeah, so. Because he's
not Deathstroke season 2 Arrow yet, but he could totally get
not
there.
Yet at least.
He could totally get
there. At least. Yeah, and that's the thing. And one of the things we'll talk about later when we talk about WandaVision is how they basically did a cookie cutter antagonist. And this is slowly peeled, just like an onion, peeling away.
Oh, yeah. Never mind. So, they're peeling back the layers of an onion like Shrek.
Yes. And that's what they're doing with this Luthor. And that's what I meant by saying that we got just enough to tease us of what was going on, from his world. And again, I mentioned I've seen this guy in the show All American that's on the CW, which is pretty good.
And Premium Rush, which is a great B movie.
You've mentioned that movie quite a few times to me.
Well, it's JGL.
I'm gonna have to watch
One,
it.
I like JGL. Yeah. 2, it's bikes. I love bikes. Bicycles. 3, it's JGL. And it's Michael Shannon as a bad guy, which is always fun.
Did he go, I will find him?
Kinda, actually. But like he was trying to run JGL off the road in a Mazda 3, which just made me laugh. So it's like Mazda 3's not running anybody off the road, even when they're in a bike. Now Mazda 3 speed, that's a different story. But a Mazda 3 keeping up with the fixie in New York City, not gonna happen. So yeah. So here's the thing. I really like Alex Luthor, Captain Luthor. I'm interested to find out who this AI is. Like, is this going to be a Kryptonian AI? Is this something that we haven't thought of yet?
Yeah,
I really like. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, and I was just thinking like some of the stuff, like what was his suit made of? Where
Metal.
Where it has to be made of something more than that to take blows like it did against
Paper.
Superman.
It's made of adamantium. The MCU's not using it, so why can't DC?
Wrong world.
I'm just saying MCU's not using it. Adamantium is on the table. So
what is the like super metal? Like I know there's nth metal in DC, but
yeah,
what are some of the other strong metal? I can't think. I don't know.
I think there's whatever steel's made out of, which coincidentally enough is not actually steel.
Iron Man. I mean,
wrong. Yeah, he's more like titanium.
It's titanium out.
So
yeah.
I saw a really stupid joke. If Silver Surfer and Iron Man teamed up, they would be alloys.
Oh my god,
that was really dumb.
That's such a dad joke.
Like it made me mad when I read it. So
it's so dumb.
But yeah,
I'm just laughing at how dumb it is.
I didn't even laugh. It just made me angry. Because I hate puns. I hate them so much. All right, so I really like Elizabeth Turlock's Lois Lane. I really, really like her. I think she, in 2 episodes, is already kind of the heart and soul of the show.
Yes. Yeah.
Which, again, like if any of you watched Grimm, it's not a stretch to understand how Bitsy will take over that part in the show. Tyler is a great Superman, hands down.
Mm-hmm.
He's an even better Clark Kent.
Yes. Again, one of the things we've talked about before when we're talking about the MCU is how good they did on the casting. And this is a show, and again, I will say that the DCEU, the Arrowverse has done a pretty good job. I mean, I love Grant Gustin as a Flash.
Yep.
Like we just talked about Melissa Benoist as Supergirl.
Oliver,
bad writing notwithstanding.
Stephen Amell as Oliver Queen.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Cress Williams is Black Lightning.
Yeah. Is it Cress or Cree? I always thought it was Cree Williams.
It's Cress.
Cress? Dude,
yeah.
I always get excited when that guy shows up in something.
Yeah,
I really in the best seasons of Friday Night Lights because he was Vince Michael B. Jordan's character's dad. So
yeah, and this is another example. Like you have Tyler, you have Elizabeth. Mm-hmm. I mean, Jordan is Jonathan, Alex is Jordan.
So hold on.
So that's always funny.
So Jordan Elias, I'm just gonna say Elias. I don't think that's how it's spelled, but who plays Jonathan Kent is going to be a super interesting character.
Yes.
They're playing him off as the dumb jock right now, but he's going to be a very interesting character. Because of everybody on the show, he's got the most like trials to go through.
Yeah.
And then Alex Garfin, who plays Jordan Kent, named after Jor-El, I didn't really put that together, and I was like, oh yeah, I guess Jor-El. He's got a really hard job. Because he's a kid who looks like he's kind of strong, but he has to come across as this weird mix of vulnerable and whiny and powerful and conflicted, right? So he's got the heaviest load as far as like what to lift with the acting that's going on there. But then I think when you take Indy Navarrete, who plays Sarah Cushing, and it looks like they're gonna balance Jordan out with her. That's like,
right.
Like even if it's not like a ship You know, that's a really interesting pairing. Because as he grows into, eventually, I'm hoping more powers from being around the ship and things like that, and like, being in the Kansas sunlight versus the Metropolis, or the Smallville sunlight versus the Metropolis smog. Maybe that's the difference. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Kyle Cushing yet. I think Eric Valdez is doing a really good job. But that character just seems kind of like off.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of his either right now. I like how your comparison of how Jordan and Sarah have this connection, because there's
Would you
during
would you say they're connected?
what do you mean?
Like the little kid in Iron Man.
Oh,
We're connected.
Oh my god, Iron Man 3, yeah.
Was that 3? Yeah, that was 3.
Yeah, that was actually, it was funny because that kid was in Jurassic World that I watched last weekend.
Yeah.
So, but
and him and his brother were not connected.
Mm-hmm. No. But like, for example, when they were at the barbecue and she was like, he was like, whenever my parents let me, back into school. And granted, he was talking about as far as getting control of his powers.
Right.
But she also knows he has other issues, so she connected with that. If you saw that look between them,
right? Because she had told him, she
understood right away.
She took the same medications and stuff.
Right. So
his crazy matches her crazy.
Yes. And
what
I
is
also
that from?
That's gonna bug me.
Oh, it's Deadpool.
Yeah.
When he's crazy matches my crazy. Yeah.
Yes.
Monica.
Yes. Monica, yes. Anyway, so I really love the relationship that we've gotten so far between Jordan and Jonathan, and it's just expanded upon in this one. Yep. There is that moment when you're talking about Jordan is Jonathan is going to be an interesting character in the sense of him being a jock, but he is more. And we even get that when Lois tells him, "Hey, I know exactly what you sacrificed to help your brother to say yes." And again, a lot of times in these shows, when somebody has to move, we get that whining and like, I don't want to move and all this. And I like how they kind of went past that. And just episode 2, you just saw them in Smallville. You saw them packing up at first, and then you saw them in Smallville. So, I like how they cut that out.
Yeah. And so speaking of that, right, I think this show is balancing all the best parts of Smallville and all the best parts of Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman as told by ABC, really well.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, I feel like they're just cherry picking the best parts of those and kind of making this new Superman show that like isn't like anything we've seen, because we're getting lots of really cool Superman like stuff. But that's like, it's like Battlestar Galactica in a way. Like the Superman stuff is the backdrop and the family drama is like what's really there.
Yes. And that's the thing that I didn't realize how much I would enjoy. The Superman part being, secondary. And again, don't get me wrong, the CG for a show like this on a network like this has been excellent.
Yes.
But
I'll be honest, the only thing where the CW really struggles is the wig department. Their CG has never been an issue.
Yeah, that's true. They usually have
really bad wigs,
decent job,
but their CG is typically really good. So.
The worst thing it is you see on there is when or not here, but like on the CW is when Barry's running and they show him and then he's like pumping his arms. Not like when you see him running fast. It's like when they're doing a slow motion thing.
Yeah.
I would love to tell them don't ever do that. Yeah, don't ever do that.
That's an acting decision on Grant's part as well.
Yeah.
So let's be honest there. But yeah. So yeah, this was a really good episode. It ends on a really cool like note with Kal-El and like the Justice Lord kind of, Ultraman type look and feel. Taking on the soldiers. He's got his Superman soldiers, like the nightmare version from Justice League. Anyway, which I think we'll actually get more of that, hopefully. Because because that was like the most interesting part of Joss Whedon's part, and that was the only part where you didn't hear him yelling at actors in the background. Anyway, but I think out of 5 disappointed AI grandfathers, I'm gonna go with a 4.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with a 4, and this is something that I thought about. Like again, one of the things we find is that Jonathan doesn't have enough power or whatever. Jordan.
Yeah.
I know. Like,
well,
Jordan,
Jonathan doesn't have enough power either because he doesn't have any.
Yeah, but how about this? And again, I think we mentioned this a little bit last week. Is if they kind of split with their powers or something?
Mm-hmm.
But what if the power comes with them because they're twins being together or being within a certain range of one another, at least in the beginning, until they. All right. You're really overacting right now. I actually like.
Are they going to put their hands together and turn their fists and
like
say
Fenrir,
activate, and one of them is going to turn into like an animal, and the other one's turn into a bucket of water, and like, oh, I'm going to trip this person and be slippery.
No. I actually like. Was it Fenrir that did that? That where they actually had powers, but their powers multiplied with them being together.
So
now,
like, if maybe it's like the Blue Lanterns and the Green Lanterns, where the Blue Lanterns, when they were around, the Green Lanterns became overpowered.
Mm-hmm.
And when the Blue Lanterns weren't around, the Green Lanterns were just powered. But then also when the Green Lanterns weren't around, the Blue Lanterns were almost worthless.
Yeah, and again, we can't really say because
how powerful is Hope really?
Yeah. Hope is extremely powerful, to be honest.
Is it?
Yeah, it actually is. It's one of the most powerful things. You don't have hope for something, you might as well quit. I mean,
I'm sorry. Force of will just like let me bust through anything. I don't have to be hopeful.
Yeah. Well, it depends on your definition of hopeful, because I would say if you have will, you have hope. Like I think those, like when you're talking about the lanterns, yeah, I know what you're saying. But like,
I don't know. I can be willful and cause a significant amount of fear too. So,
but anyway, back to Small. Or I was about to say Smallville. Well, we are in Smallville.
Yeah, back to Smallville. Back to Soups and Lolo.
It's going to be interesting to see, because we know he has powers, or one of them has, or something's going to happen.
One or both of them have powers.
Yeah,
and they're going to get turned on somehow.
Right. And Jor-El was pretty dismissive. Like, dude,
he was so disappointed in Clark. Why are you bringing his kid back again?
He all but said your kid is useless. He all but said that. So, which it's funny, that was Robert the Bruce, which I don't remember his real name, but
yeah.
So
yeah,
4 out of 5. Another excellent episode.
Here's
weeks
the thing,
in a row.
is it can still go up from where it's at. Like, it's nowhere. It's not like there's so much more they can do, and that they're taking their time and they're getting there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it all started with that first 5 minutes where they just kind of built the world. They showed us in 5 minutes what the status quo of this world is, and now they're going to spend the next 12 plus episodes breaking that status quo.
Were you the one that said that, like, I don't know if that was you or not, that told me that Up, like in the first 5 minutes, it was like the best love story or something like that?
I have not said that to you, but it is the most complete love story in the history of cinema.
In 5 minutes, or whatever it was.
Yeah, however long. I think it's the first like 20 minutes, but.
And somebody compared last week, I don't remember who it was, compared last week's intro to Up in that way, in the sense of how they got so much done.
Yep.
In 5 minutes.
I can see that. I can 100% see that. So, cool.
I want more. Let's go.
Is
it Tuesday yet?
Is it Tuesday? That's it's not. Is it Wednesday anymore? Is it Tuesday? Well, no, it's still it is. Wednesday. Is it Wednesday because it's on Wednesdays, right?
Tuesdays.
Yeah. So we're still with Tuesdays because the Expanse came out on Tuesdays.
Yeah. Well, with just like when we were like, hey, last week, is it Friday yet?
Yeah.
For WandaVision, so it's now. Is it Tuesday yet?
Mm-hmm.
For another few weeks.
All right. So speaking of WandaVision. This episode is called the series finale, which is great because, like, obviously it's not. Once again, directed by Matt Shackman, who did all 9 episodes from the director's chair. Jack Schaefer, the showrunner and who wrote the pilot, was back on writing duties. And I just have to say, before we go any further, if the two of them don't get a Marvel movie, like an actual like movie to go along with this, I don't know who deserves a movie, because I have not seen a pair of creators in the MCU, Favreau included, have a complete understanding of what they're trying to do, who their characters are in the story.